In this video, you'll learn how Gemini 3, and really all models going forward, enabled AI to do visual-based tasks really well, going beyond writing, ideation, and coding. We discuss how Gemini 3 is natively multimodal, so text, image, video, audio, making it uniquely qualified to do the visual-based tasks, like reviewing heavily visual documents or changing one format to another. So, for example, a video into an infographic. We explore how your business can take advantage of these new capabilities. Welcome to the AI Accelerator for Business show, where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and information to get the business benefits of artificial intelligence. The show today is brought to you by 0to60.ai. My name is Carl Ye. I'm joined by my co-host Jeff Bradshaw, and today we're talking about the massive shift of work, especially visual work, as a result of Gemini 3 and most likely all the other models that will, come about and have these capabilities. I really want to talk about, with Google's Gemini 3 launching, the area that I really want to focus on is it isn't just writing anymore, writing and maybe audio, but now we have the ability to use AI to see images and video. So it can actually review a video, not just transcripts, but see a video and then analyze it, then recreate it. So it's kind of neat where you can take a video, recreate it into an infographic, take an infographic, recreate it to a video. Like there's so many now different use cases. I've seen examples of people taking 50-page PDF reports and turning it into an infographic, or, taking your resume and turning it into a map. There's so many now different, especially on the business side, business use cases that people do on a regular basis with their eyes to see that Gemini 3 can now do.
You know what, Carl, this is totally a game changer because, we were literally in client meetings a couple of weeks ago and saying, it's not that good at doing this stuff yet. And here we are 2 weeks later, and the capabilities are just there. They're a game changer for businesses, especially mid-sized businesses that are connecting with people. And there's so much opportunity to use visuals to try and get messages across. And like you say, some of those examples you just mentioned, those would be very timely, very costly to do previously. And now you can do them in a matter of minutes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. One example I thought that was really neat is, let's go the entire screen here. For example, we're doing this YouTube audit for Destination Organization Travel Alberta, and the report that we've done is pretty comprehensive. There's a lot of work that went into it, a lot of research, right? Thing is, though, how many times, whether it's this report or another report that may or may not get read, this is Notebook LM, but powered by Gemini 3, the ability to take this massive report and turn it into like an infographic. Before, you may have been able to do that, but the output wouldn't have been the same. But now it's pretty significant. Like, imagine what you would have had to hire a designer to come up with this, a creative to come up with this. Just that. I love how this takes everything from that report and just captures what are the key things, and imagine presenting that to the client.
And Carl, this is a 60, 70 page report that, you were able to put down into an infographic in a matter of minutes. Again, you just wouldn't have done that in the past because the return on investment wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. And then you can also now, amazingly, a more condensed deck. We do have an accompanying deck to that, and that's, I don't know, more than 10 slides to go through it. But if we just wanted someone to have a quick look, then this is perfect. This is like amazing where, some of the other presentation generators are more focused on, like, there's a lot of content and you have to prompt it in a way to, condense it. But it kind of nailed what we're looking for in one shot. Obviously, if we prompted a little bit better, change the logos and whatnot, it would get even better. But like for a one-shot piece, that's pretty good.
And again, the days of dry, boring, text-filled PowerPoint slides, should be a thing of the past.
Even the ability to leverage this and then create videos from it, right? So, for example, I took this image of a engineering drawing of, I don't even know what it was. And then what I did was I went to Gemini and said, hey, can you create a 3D model of this? And it did. And then all I did was, so I'm using Higgsfield here, but you can go to VO3 using the VO3 model, just turn that into a simple video from, and Jeff, you owned a video production company 10 years ago. How much would have this cost?
Oh, that would have been, I would say $10,000 to $20,000.
That's crazy that you
Yeah.
could have charged that much.
Well,
And
and again, because back in the day, it was very, very time consuming, right? Somebody would have had to have spent a ton of time in front of their computer, recreate things, it just, again, it's so time intensive that you used to have to charge that. And again, it wasn't like you were making massive margins on it. It just took that much time.
I think too, one of the things that I think a use case that people would love to know about is, I'm going to share my screen again. And this time, when I was doing another video, I wanted Gemini 3. I wanted to test it, but I know it could do it. Is before with large language models, what you'd have to do is, even though they say they could watch a video, what they were doing is essentially transcribing it. And if you didn't have transcription, it's very hard to actually watch. And even Gemini, the previous versions, it took a really long time. But with Gemini 3, it can watch the actual video. So here, for example, we come from the video space too, where, you have to film real estate videos, right? And there's a certain way you film it. Now, I took this YouTube video, how to film real estate videos from Full Time Maker from a couple of years ago. And I had Gemini analyze that video, not just take the transcripts, but actually like see the video. And then from there, I had it help me generate prompts that takes into consideration how to film it, from camera movements to the settings, to the composition, the lighting, the rules, and all that kind of stuff, right? So it understood the movement. Then what we did is we took it into Higgsfield here, and some of the things, the prompt for this was, it's outstanding what it could do. To be able to, that is a typical scene from a real estate video that you've seen hundreds of times. You've seen your videographers film for an actual finished home. But this is a purely AI generated image that has been turned into a video. That's crazy.
Carl, you're gonna turn all the creatives on their heads here with saying that you're stealing a human created process from the how-to video, but in all honesty, all you're doing is you're taking the prompts like a human would do, reviewing the video, helping it create prompts to be able to reproduce a video using another AI tool, and I think that's brilliant.
I think this also gets me thinking about, we've always said, well, it's better to be an expert in whatever field you're in so that you can help prompt the AI to do the work of whatever it is that you do. You'll be much better off than the other person. I still think that holds true, but people can now be a little bit closer to that expert by enabling your AI using Gemini 3 to review a YouTube video of how to do something and get it to mimic it, and either create a new video, image, infographic, whatever, to help you do whatever that is. And I think that's pretty amazing that we have that capability, not just lectures, but now actual, like, show me how to do it and then put it in another format that then helps me to replicate it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's doing no different than what a human would do. I think the fact that you can now view it, because again, months ago, you would use these tools to say, give me a review of this video. And you're right, it's just reading a transcription or kind of regurgitating what's in the transcription. The fact that it can now see it and learn from it, I think is, really going to change the ability of what people can use this for. And I think it's such early stages that, I think that's where people need to get creative and start going, well, wait a minute, okay, let's do some tests on some other applications and how we could use it in our business.
So, and we've actually come up with a list, and the last couple of years we were thinking about it too. What we've been focused on is more of like, the writing component or the analysis component or calculation through spreadsheet component. Still, all the models are good at that. But now we have even more, and we've always had trouble with the OCR, right? Optical character recognition, where you're trying to find certain things from PDFs. And we have, certain models are better, and even the new Opus 4.5 is even better at that than Gemini. But there's so many things. So, for example, operations and logistics, right? Comparing a crumpled handwritten delivery receipt, which weren't we at a meeting yesterday where the owner was like, here's a bunch of crumpled receipts, and he just chucks it to finance, and it's finance's job to organize it and put it into a spreadsheet. And that's really hard, right? Being able to do that relatively quickly, because in the past you'd actually have to use something else like Llama Parse or Mistral, which is a better OCR, but now it's right there, enable you to do.
Think about too, I mean, when you talk about this being able to view a video, from a safety standpoint, from a training standpoint, where you could actually have somebody out in the field and you could record a video of a subject matter expert walking somebody through how to safely use a piece of equipment, and then be able to have, a tool like this review that video and then create prompts to create more polished documentation and safety guidelines and either other video content from a safety training standpoint.
We can't even think of the opportunities or the options. I think the people in those roles, once they see and really understand these capabilities, they'll come up with even crazier ways, right, to use it. Now, I also think, in addition to PDF scanning, one of the things that you could do is start taking, say, security footage of your, or not even security footage. We have a client that they have a monitor, a screen of like where their trucks or whatever are, and they don't know what to do with it. They get a whole bunch of this, and there was no way to do it, because you would take, say, a clip that is 15, 20 minutes long, and there was really no system that could analyze it in that way, because there's no transcript, nothing. But with Gemini 3, and I would imagine models going forward, they have that capability to, hey, can you analyze the last 20 minutes of this? Where is it more efficient? What's people doing? What are the things that are like, where can we improve on? And that can be in anything, right? So any layout, like, is this the most optimal for a retail store? Is this the most optimal to put this or this, section based on our traffic the last week? Something like that.
And I think the other thing too is, again, it was interesting because we've had a couple of clients that have gone into meetings with a printed agenda or information, and they start handwriting notes all over it. And again, before it's been difficult, but I think it's getting better to the point where it can now even take some of those handwritten notes and even clean up. We've seen it with a few clients where it turns into a great big mess, but I think it's getting better to the point where it'll actually be able to read that and then give you a new updated meeting summary notes that takes all the handwritten notes and cleans it up and integrates it into the final document.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen, mind you, I think no matter how good AI is going to get, there's just some people with handwriting, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. It's like a half line. I don't care how good your AI is.
If a human
Like,
can't read it, the AI is going to have a tough
just like,
time reading it.
no, it's like, what is this? This is like a half X and a scribble. Like, what does that even, that means nothing to anybody. So,
That's right.
but I also think too, there's like customer support, right? So you can now troubleshoot an actual user's problem. And we've been saying this for a while, but I didn't think the tech was there until now, where it's like, here's a screenshot of my issue. Before, I would say, what, 50-50, 60-40, that it could do it. But now it's like, oh, it can do it. Like, what, 80-90% more accurate than what we've seen. So to me, every single business that has a tangible product, you should be putting on your website the ability to see, or a product of your product that's maybe broken or not working, and users are able to upload a video or upload an image and then get feedback from said company using Gemini 3. A couple other ones here, right? This is a little scary now. Comparing a selfie video uploaded against a photo of a driver's license to detect fraud, or visual artifacts. But you can see what kind of, the first thing I thought is like, oh, it enables now a government to be able to really, really know where, how, you are. But mind you, I was watching this show about this guy who lives in China, and it's all biometric. So how you pay, it isn't even with your phone. You just put your hand over and it pays. So the government knows exactly what you are, where you do, how everything. But how much easier is it to pay with your hand, just waving your hand over, than having to pull out wallets and phones and all that kind of stuff? Is there anything that you can think of, like, going forward? Because I know this is so brand new,
Sorry, Carl,
that
it's freezing up
people
on me
or
here.
businesses can take advantage of.
Yeah, no, and I think even like field operations, you think about field operations for companies, right? Where you can feed it photos from site inspections, drone flyovers, handwritten notes, Gantt charts and everything, and ask what risks or delays, it can see in the plans. And again, I think those are the types of things where like you say, it's really going to be about companies really experimenting with the technology to figure out what's capable.
Our recommendation for you is, we came up with a whole list of things that companies can do now, right? It's legal compliance and HR, like contract redlining, even watching a video walkthrough of a rental unit and generating a list of repairs of whatever that is, utility meter readings, construction progress monitoring, all those things, drone footages, architectural blueprints, that now enables you to do a lot more with it, analysis, recommendations, and so on. So think about what you do on a regular basis, what your business does on a regular basis, that requires vision, video, images, and then now there's new ways either to improve your efficiency or productivity, but also more important, hey, is there a new way you could actually do this with all that, I guess, image, visual data that you're collecting? Learn more about AI visual-based tasks by watching these videos here. Enjoy today's episode. Want to learn how AI can impact your business? Then please subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in our next episode.